Time now 8:34. The 4th of July holiday exodus is now upon us.
Here we are. Whether you're traveling by car, train, or plane, you won't be alone. And you are being warned to give yourself enough time. Joining us this morning is Sean Cudahy from The Points Guide to prepare us and tell us everything we need to know before we go. Sean, thank you so much.
Hi, good morning. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th. You know, what we definitely can expect is for today to be one of the busiest travel days for many folks trying to get a head start for the holiday. More than 2 million people expected to travel through the 3 major airports across our area. We know Newark already starting to see some delays there. Are the airlines prepared to handle this, Sean?
I think they are. You know, we have seen the airlines really staff up over the last couple of years. I think a lot of people are, they think back to 2 years ago when we had all of those meltdowns. Airlines have really been running a much more solid operation over the last really year and a half. The cancellation rates so far this summer have trended well below what we saw 2 years ago. The delays have actually been a little bit higher, but a lot of the time, a delay is certainly better than a cancellation. Had some problems at Newark in recent days because of some FAA air traffic control staffing at the control towers. So hopefully we will see some improvement there over the next couple of days. But still, the cancellation rate's really a lot lower than we saw a couple years ago.
All right, so Sean, the airlines are kind of picking up the weight there, but we're talking about some big numbers traveling, record numbers. How about the TSA? Are they going to be ready to handle these droves coming in?
Yeah, you really see the TSA around big holiday periods shift staffing around to make sure that they are ready to go for those peak times. It's incredible. We've seen 8 of the 10 busiest days all time at TSA checkpoints have come just since Memorial Day weekend. One of our big pieces of advice here at the Points Guy is to download the My TSA app on your smartphone. You can actually pull up the airport that you're going to be headed to. If you're going at, say, 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning, you can look and see what the wait times usually are at that time at your airport that you're going to. It's a great way to plan ahead if you don't have something like TSA PreCheck.
Great tips. And Sean, are you thinking more people are traveling domestically or internationally this weekend? And how will this huge hurricane we've been watching, Hurricane Beryl, affect travel, air travel?
We're certainly seeing a lot of demand for international travel this summer. Certainly the largest share of U.S. travelers are going to be traveling domestically on any given day. We're certainly watching to see how this storm could affect operations at airports, as the storm makes its way closer, to the U.S., to Mexico. That's certainly going to be something that we're going to be watching in the coming days. I think it's probably too early to say based on the trajectory of the storm, but, that's certainly something that airlines are paying close attention to. And the airports that the authorities that operate these airports as well.
And Sean, we are approaching midsummer here. Is this peak travel season for the Point, or do you think more families will travel for the 4th than other holidays coming up?
This past Friday was one of the busiest days of all time, the 4th busiest of all time. I think it's possible that Sunday, the return from 4th of July, could potentially break the all-time record at TSA checkpoints. We'll have to see. We've seen those records broken a number of times this summer. I think we're really in the heat of the peak summer travel season, with a lot of schools across the country going back earlier and earlier in recent years. We've really seen airlines have noted that the peak summer travel period has shifted earlier in the summer. Maybe in the past it was June, July, August. Now it's more of a June, July type situation. So I think we're really in the thick of it right now, and 4th of July, particularly at the height of what we're seeing this summer.
Yeah, Sean, with these delays, lost luggage, all of the stuff, the things can really impact a quick holiday getaway. Is there anything folks can do to protect against this?
Yeah, I think one of my best pieces of advice is to download the airlines app. We keep talking about these apps, the TSA app, but certainly your airlines app. A lot of the time when there's some sort of disruption, whether it's a delay or a cancellation, the airline will send you a push alert right on your phone, and you can rebook yourself. You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to wait on hold for a long time. That can make the transition so much easier if you have to move to a different flight. Also, your luggage. A lot of airlines have introduced luggage tracking. You can get, push alerts, or even just scroll and see, okay, my bag was just loaded onto the plane, my bag's off the plane, oops, my bag is not in the right place. And sometimes you can make the necessary arrangements there without ever having to wait in a long line.
All right, Sean Cudahy, thank you so much for your insight and helping us get our holidays off to a smooth travel start.
Thank you.